Have you ever seen a tree so strange that it made you stop and question whether it truly belonged on Earth? Most of us walk past trees every day without giving them a second thought. But hidden around the world are ancient giants, rainbow-colored trunks, trees that bleed red sap, and forests that look like scenes from fantasy movies. Nature doesn't just create life. Sometimes it creates masterpieces. Today, we're traveling across the globe to discover 7 of the most extraordinary and rare trees ever found. From living legends that have stood for centuries, to trees that seem to break the rules of biology itself, these natural wonders prove that our planet still has the power to surprise us. And trust me, you'll never look at trees the same way again. Let's begin mound. Number 7. The rainbow eucalyptus, Eucalyptus deglupta. Imagine walking through a tropical forest and suddenly coming across a tree painted in green, orange, blue, purple, and maroon. It sounds impossible, yet the rainbow eucalyptus is completely real. Unlike most trees, its beauty doesn't come from its flowers or leaves. It comes from its bark. Throughout the year, the tree continuously sheds thin strips of bark. As fresh layers are exposed, they appear bright green. Over time, those sections gradually change color, becoming blue, purple, orange, and deep red. The result is a living canvas that looks as if someone painted a rainbow directly onto the trunk. And this isn't a genetic mutation or a rare disease. This is simply how the species evolved. The rainbow eucalyptus can grow over 240 feet tall, making it one of the tallest tropical trees in the world. Yet despite its massive size, people are drawn to it for one reason: its unbelievable colors. Standing beside one feels almost surreal. It doesn't look like something created by nature. It looks like modern art. But if you think that's extraordinary, wait until you meet a tree that seems to belong in a fantasy novel. Number 6. The dragon tree, Dracaena draco. At first glance, the dragon tree appears ancient and mysterious. Its thick trunk branches outward into a giant umbrella-shaped crown, giving it a silhouette unlike almost any other tree on Earth. But what truly earned this tree its legendary name is what happens when it's injured. The dragon tree bleeds. When its bark is cut, it releases a deep crimson resin known as dragon's blood. For centuries, this strange red sap was used in medicines, dyes, and ceremonial rituals. Ancient civilizations believed it possessed magical properties. It's easy to understand why. Watching red liquid flow from a tree feels almost supernatural. Some dragon trees can live for over 1,000 years. They survive harsh conditions and stand as symbols of endurance and wisdom. On the Canary Islands, these trees are more than just plants. They are living monuments and cultural treasures. Standing beneath one feels like standing beside a guardian from another age, a silent witness to centuries of history. And speaking of ancient giants, our next tree takes longevity to another level. Number 5. The African baobab, Adansonia digitata. If you asked a child to draw a tree from memory, it probably wouldn't look anything like a baobab. Its trunk is enormous, often wider than a house, and its branches look like roots reaching into the sky. That's why it's often called the upside-down tree. Some baobabs are believed to be more than 2,000 years old. Their hollow trunks can become shelters, storage rooms, and even gathering places for local communities. But the baobab is more than just unusual looking. It is a lifeline. Its fruits are rich in nutrients, and its giant trunk stores vast amounts of water, allowing it to survive in some of Africa's harshest environments. For generations, local legends have surrounded these trees. Many cultures see them as symbols of wisdom, protection, and resilience. A baobab doesn't simply grow in the landscape, it dominates it. It feels less like a tree and more like a natural monument. If you're enjoying this journey through Earth's most incredible trees, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. There are still more wonders ahead, and our next one grows where few trees would dare. Number 4. The bald cypress, Taxodium disticum. Deep in the swamps of the American South stands one of the strangest trees in North America. The bald cypress thrives in water. Its roots produce unusual structures called knees that rise above the surface like dozens of wooden fingers reaching from beneath the swamp. Scientists believe these structures help the tree survive in oxygen-poor conditions. though they remain one of nature's great botanical mysteries. When fog drifts through a cypress swamp, the scene becomes almost otherworldly. Towering trunks disappear into the mist, and their reflections shimmer in dark water below. These trees can live for hundreds, even thousands of years. Their bark is rugged and ancient, while their delicate leaves turn brilliant shades of orange and copper in the fall. Walking through a bald cypress forest feels like stepping into another world, a place where time moves more slowly, and nature reveals one of its most hauntingly beautiful creations. But our next tree doesn't rely on mystery alone. It blooms in a way that seems impossible. Number 3. The Judas tree, Cercis siliquastrum. Most flowering trees produce blossoms on their branches. The Judas tree has different ideas. Its vivid pink flowers emerge directly from the trunk itself. This rare phenomenon is called cauliflory, and it creates one of the most unusual sights in the plant kingdom. Imagine seeing an old tree trunk suddenly covered in bright magenta blossoms. It looks like magic. The tree is also surrounded by legend. According to tradition, Judas Iscariot hanged himself from one of these trees after betraying Jesus, giving the species its dramatic name. Whether the story is true or not, it has added centuries of mystery to this remarkable tree. Every spring, the Judas tree transforms Mediterranean landscapes into scenes of pink and purple beauty, attracting botanists, photographers, and curious travelers from around the world. And speaking of breathtaking displays, our next tree creates a floral spectacle unlike anything else on Earth. Number 2. Japanese wisteria, Wisteria floribunda. Technically, wisteria is a vine, but in Japan, it has been trained into something extraordinary. At the famous Ashikaga Flower Park, enormous wisteria plants spread across giant support structures, creating hanging canopies of purple blossoms that resemble waterfalls made of flowers. Walking beneath them feels like entering a dream. The air is filled with a sweet fragrance, and thousands of blossoms sway gently overhead like curtains of lavender. Some of these wisteria plants are more than a century old. They continue to bloom every spring with incredible beauty and strength. It's one of those places that seems almost unreal in photographs, yet somehow looks even more magical in person. And finally, we come to a tree that has watched centuries pass beneath its branches. A tree that has become a legend. Number 1. The angel oak. The angel oak isn't the tallest tree in the world. It isn't the most colorful either, but it may be one of the most awe-inspiring. Estimated to be between 400 and 1,500 years old, this southern live oak has survived storms, wars, and generations of human history. Its branches stretch more than 160 feet across, twisting and bending like the arms of an ancient giant. Standing beneath its canopy feels like entering a natural cathedral. The tree's massive limbs seem almost alive, reaching out in every direction while casting an enormous blanket of shade below. For many visitors, the angel oak represents strength, endurance, and the passage of time itself. It's a reminder that some living things witness centuries of change while remaining firmly rooted to the same patch of earth. And perhaps that's why people travel from around the world to see it. Not because it's simply a tree, but because it feels like a piece of living history. Nature's greatest wonders aren't always found in mountains or oceans. Sometimes, they're standing quietly in forests, swamps, and remote islands, waiting for someone to look up and notice them. Which of these incredible trees amazed you the most? Was it the rainbow-colored eucalyptus, the mysterious dragon tree, or the ancient angel oak? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through some of Earth's most extraordinary living wonders, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.